Hello and welcome to episode 60 of Miffs. It's just Matt Hoss here, and this is a very special episode, and I've got a little introduction. Essentially, we have some prophecies for this episode, and from episode 18, we prophesied some things that would happen in episode 30, and we kind of checked them off, it was good fun, but at the end of episode 30, we predicted, you guys predicted what might happen in episode 60. We've got a couple of those emails, and I'm going to go. We've got a nice mixture of some. So I'm going to read out a couple. We have some prophecies we want to talk about. The first one is Matt will call the listeners viewers. Number 2, Dan will mention Weetabix. And someone also put as well. Number 3, Matt will do the Weetabix challenge during this episode. Should have clarified that definitely won't happen. Probably. Number 4, you will both make love on air. Number 5, Dan will attempt to justify racist behaviour with logic. Number 6, Matt will talk about the success of his love life. Well, maybe not success, but we will talk about his love life. Number 7, Matt will question his homosexuality. And we had multiple suggestions of this one. Matt will question his homosexuality. Matt will question his sexuality. Matt will talk about being bi. Quite a people. That was a popular one. That one. Next one is it'll be a podcast commentary about a hit film like Clash of the Titans or Jason and the Argonauts. It will, and finally, it will be a live podcast. So these are the prophecies that you have selected. There's a couple more, but I kind of left them out because they're quite similar to the other ones. So those are 9 prophecies that you can keep your eye out and ear out for this episode. I've already done one of them by accident. So keep your ear out and listen to see this. Just to clarify that Dan has no idea about this. He's totally forgotten, and we'll see how it ends up. Welcome to Miffs, everyone.
Welcome to Miffs. I'm Matt Hoss. And I'm Dan Rhodes. Whether you know about Odysseus or you're revising your syllabus, if you want tales with a bit of jest, or you just want to hear about incest. What? What? It's really interesting. Welcome to Miffs. Welcome to Miffs.
Hello and welcome to episode 60, our 60th birthday. Wow, 60 years old, in the geriatrics unit, yeah. How are you feeling, Dan?
I'm feeling pretty good, Matt.
For a 60-year-old man?
For a 60-year-old man, pretty good. Here's a question. Where do you see yourself at 60? No, we're not going to do that.
I've got a brand new sex move, it's called the 60, right?
So you mount an egg.
Should we try and find... because I think the 69 has been there for too long. I think we should find sex moves for every number in the... in the alphabet. For every number in the alphabet, which is none of them. How was your week been, Dan?
Pretty good.
Dan?
What did I do this week? I gave you... I gave you an impossible question.
Yes, this was something I was going to bring up organically, but Dan Rhodes, you broke me this week. You have hurt my very fibre of my soul. Now, do you explain what the kind of conundrum you put me under?
I asked Matthew Elliot Hoss.
That's me.
That's not him, actually. That's a different guy. I asked Matthew Elliot Hoss.
The other Matthew Elliot Hoss.
If me and my manager at work were having a discussion about which band is better, the Beatles
from Liverpool
or Queen
from London.
And I asked Max, I know he's probably a fan of both, and
because I think we haven't really talked music much in this podcast, but we both love music quite a lot. Like, I think I'm bit more niche for my taste, but I think you're a bit more. I
know quite a bit about.
Yeah, you're very much. But I think in countries, I know a little bit about everything. But I think you're quite deep. Actually, there's a bad analogy because you know a lot about countries, but I know a lot about music.
Yes,
I think.
yeah. I think music. You've described this very well. Music to Matt is like what sport is to other people.
That I do it.
No, that you not only do it, but also you follow it. Like I could. Lots of people like myself could tell you lots of players in rugby and football, managers and that. But you're like that with bands. You can name all the names of bands, all their albums.
Yeah,
and a lot of people can't do that.
I love facts about it.
But you can do the football thing. You can just reel off players from a team.
But yeah, as a teenager, I loved the Beatles. They were my all-time favourite band for a very long time. But And also, as a kid, I used to love Queen. I used to not like them in my teenage years, but since Bohemian Rhapsody, I mean, a mega Queen fan, and I listened to all of their albums. I've even ranked their albums from best to worst, and I've put it on my website called it's under a blog called "No One Asked Me to Write This," which I think is very apt. So I'm being this is an impossible question. So who's better, Beatles or Queen? And genuinely, Dan asked me that about last week.
Yeah.
I've really struggled to sleep because of this question. I've had a genuine sleep this night because of it. So
I personally prefer a lot more Queen songs than I do Beatles songs, but I have no doubt that Beatles made a huge impact on the music scene, and musically they're some talented guys.
Yeah, well, I think the same is said to Queen, though, if you know what I mean. Like, I think... but who do you support now? Do you say Queen?
I can name a lot more Queen songs I like than the Beatles songs
but
I like.
We actually talked about this last time off air, but we talked about... Because I didn't know you liked Queen as much as you did, actually, because we were sat in your bed post-podcast.
Yeah, we always have a little lie down on my bed after the podcast. Do you remember that time after a podcast we had a nap, kind of by accident?
Yeah, but it was also the best moment of our friendship.
Yeah. Finished the podcast by day, woke up, it was basically night.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, where are my clothes?
Why are you sleeping in my bed, man? But I was because I made a playlist called Queen's Deepest Cuts, which you can find on Spotify, and basically, and I started playing you some, and you're like, oh, one of my favourites is "Give Me the Prize" from It's a Kind of Magic, and I was like, oh my god, that's a niche one. That's on my playlist as well. And your dad used to listen to a lot of Queen.
He does, yeah. He had quite a few albums. I remember vinyl, and he even had a VHS of their music videos.
Mr. Rhodes, hello. And I'll be just stepped down into that.
Trying to think of bands my dad likes, but I remember as a kid he used to play a lot of Queen, a lot of ELO.
Oh, I love ELO so much.
Everyone loves ELO.
No, but ELO is so talented, you know.
Yeah. A lot of Mike Oldfield, actually.
I thought you were going to say My Chemical Romance.
Do you know Mike Oldfield? There's a lot of basically, it's like a composer where he plays loads of different instruments and then he kind of puts them all together. He did Tubular Bells.
Oh yeah,
The Exorcist.
Basically, all dads love Tubular Bells.
Yeah. But they were the three bands I remember him playing a lot of.
Oh, but with Queen though, I think that I don't know. It blew my mind when you asked me that question because I was like, who do I choose? Do I choose the people I've loved or this band? And I tried to compare them. It's like, but they're very similar. And I started screaming to myself as well. So, so why don't you email us in at miffspodcast@gmail.com to say, do you prefer the Beatles or do you prefer Queen? Or do you prefer Matt or do you prefer Dan? It's and maybe for the sakes of this argument, should I be Team Beatles? You can be Team Queen.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, bloody Queen. They're terrible, aren't they? No, I hate myself for saying that. Dan, it's going to be an interesting podcast today. We've got some... episode 60, we've come a long way.
We have come a long way.
Well, you have come a from from Essex.
Yeah. Why did I walk? That was a stupid decision.
It was a very... you got blisters on your feet now. Yeah. But yeah, so what's your favourite thing about doing this podcast? What's the best thing that's benefited from you? Are you wiser now?
I am wiser now, yeah. Well, I am technically. I learned a lot more about Greek and Roman myths than I'd ever really known before. I could read off maybe 10 characters. Couldn't really tell you what those characters were. I just knew them by name.
Wait, is this before or after the podcast?
Before, obviously. Now I can quite like 11 or 12. But I have more ideas in my brain now of where they're placed. Mastermind the other day. Was watching it on BBC. A guy's...
But you like a good quiz
show. Mate. Me and my housemate Liam. Shout out Liam. God, we love a good quiz.
Yeah, because I remember sitting down with you,
anything. Eggheads, Pointless, Mastermind, The Chase, University Challenge, Only Connect, which, by the way, if you enjoy and are good at Only Connect...
You're a psychopath.
Who are you?
Yeah, psychopath. So which is your favourite? What's your favourite quiz show?
I like University Challenge and I like Eggheads. I really like Eggheads, actually.
How about Pointless? I think Pointless...
Pointless is alright, but do you know why I prefer Eggheads and...
The Chase?
No, Eggheads and University Challenge. I'm in it for the questions. I want to see how many questions I can get right. I'm in it to learn some answers.
Yeah.
And they're very...
Snappy.
Here are the questions, blah, blah, blah. Pointless... A bit guilty of rambling sometimes, and I'm like, oh my god,
Alex, we don't care about these people
Alex,
from Sheffield.
Come on, yeah. Things like The Chase, got adverts, haven't you, in The Chase?
Yeah, true. You have really thought a lot about this as well. But I found with eggheads, though,
And Only Connect, I just don't really understand.
Yeah, it's crazy. But with what I find though with eggheads, it's very much like it's a bit dry. It lacks a bit of charm and a bit of like it's a bit more. Yeah, we're 50 years old. We want to win some money. Let's do this. It's like meaningless sex, you know. It's like you do it just because you're there, you know. Yeah. I don't know. I've never had meaningless sex. All my sex is meaningful, full of meaning, or semenful. Am I right? That is officially the worst joke I've ever told.
Good God, I didn't even move.
In fact, I think I killed your laughter there.
Yeah, wow. That was like anti-laughter. I like created an anti-vacuum.
It's like what I do at comedy gigs, just anti-laughter, booing, I suppose.
Yeah.
Would you ever go on a quiz show?
Me and my friend Chris always thought about going on Pointless.
Would you ever go on Mastermind? Oh, sorry.
What would your specialist subject be if you were on Mastermind?
Well, actually, I
don't think I like to learn a lot about a lot of things, but I don't think there's one topic that I would be particularly good enough at to.
See, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm quite.
You'd have to be a band of some kind, sure.
I'm not. Well, yeah. Well, I'm not quite sure because I actually have applied to do Mastermind when I was in 2017. It's quite naive at the time, but I had the hubris of knowledge, if you know what I mean. But I think I would actually do quite well on either a comedian, like I think Lives and Work of Richard Herring or Mark Thomas. I'd be quite good at that. I essentially wrote my dissertation about those two, and also I'm a massive fan / stalker. But like, I guess the Beatles or Queen I'm quite knowledgeable about, or someone like Jeff Rosenstock or. Oh gosh, like Mastermind's like, I get to choose. The frisson to it. I like it.
Yeah, I don't think I know enough. And my problem would be that what I was going to mention earlier was I was watching Mastermind the other day, and one of the guys, his specialist topic was Greek mythology.
Oh yeah.
And I thought, this guy's going to get destroyed because no matter how much you know about Greek mythology, there is so many possible ways of wording questions, little intricacies that you just couldn't know of. And I think that was what his downfall was. He probably thought they'd ask him quite mainstream stuff, and they didn't. They were super like
niche.
Which book in the Ovid is when Metacilius comes out of the... And he was just like, oh, Jesus, I've made a huge mistake.
But because that is a... Because with Mastermind, you go niche, you know, and really just pick a small thing. Because that's also like...
It's too broad a subject, and they really punished him for it, because they just picked the hardest possible questions.
Because I know people who've done like, Welsh football teams from 1990 to 1995. It's like, that is...
how many questions could they possibly ask you? Yeah. That's good. So if you just do Greek mythology... they could just ask you anything. I
actually did think about doing the Odyssey because I think at the time I knew a lot more about it. But I knew it quite well as well.
That's a bit more specific at least. His literally was just Greek mythology. Then the person after him was like Sir Bobby Robson's footballing career in 1977 to 1980. Like, okay, well this guy. I mean, how?
I would like to do Matt Hoss. On this, but
the life and death of Matt Hoss.
Hopefully not death.
The life and work of Matt Hoss.
The life and work of Matt Hoss, but from that year, from like 2019.
I would be terrible if Miffs was mine. Which episode is this? Pass.
Who is it? Actually, let's do that right now. I'll be. It's Miffs Mastermind.
You're going to be John Humphreys, okay?
Yeah, and I'm going to ask you questions about Miffs. Okay.
Okay, go on.
Well, shall we? Is it 30 seconds? Or?
Yeah, I guess they get longer. I think they get 2 minutes, but for the purposes of today, that will.
Why don't we do 45 seconds?
Okay, go on. Ask me questions.
I have to think about questions as well. So, in which episode do we meet Tiresias for the first time?
Episode 16?
Incorrect. Episode 18. Who is your podcast co-host?
Matthew Hoss.
Incorrect. It's Laura Lex. Who did Oedipus kill on the road to Thebes?
Oh, his dad.
His name is?
Correct.
Pass. I can't remember myself, but who was the person whose liver does Brian the Eagle eat?
Prometheus.
Gotcha. A part of this is actually me trying to remember questions as well. What made you really laugh in the Zeus's Lovers episode?
Ganymede's Tybal.
Yeah. It's quite funny. What does King Minos sound like?
Oh, he sounds like this!
Actually, that sounds like Bugs Bunny, to be honest. Hey, he sounds like this! What's the best place to visit on Earth?
Peanut butter services.
Correct. How fast does an ingenious boat go?
About 2 nautical miles per second.
I'll accept it. And one more.
Yeah. 2 miles a second. Good God.
I just panicked. Okay. One more question. Who is the creepiest god of all times?
Pan.
Correct. That was. I think you got about 3 correct. There's actually more stress than me asking them.
I got a few right.
Yeah. In all fairness, I think I was messing around with a couple of them, but yeah.
Oh, you mean that improvised mastermind skit wasn't
Supposed to be funny.
Wasn't thought out. Yeah. Now, shall we do a really impressive improvised segue into the main myth that makes loads of sense? Matt, did you see that documentary about dolphins recently?
Oh yeah. I really enjoyed that bit about when they went to that place called Ithaca.
Yeah. Let's do a myth.
Welcome to the Odyssey, where we meet a man stranded at sea, searching for home with varying success. Why didn't he just book a National Express?
Alrighty, Daniel, are you ready for another part of the Odyssey?
I am.
Part 9 of the Odyssey.
Part 9?
Are you in Cloud 9?
No.
Okay, it has been going on for a long time. But we are nearing the end of the Odyssey, so in episode 60, we're going to be seeing a lot more from the plot. But what has happened beforehand, Dan?
Odysseus, he's made it home, and he's finally been reunited with his son, Telemachus. He's been missing for a long time now.
Yeah. It's 20 years.
About 20 years, yeah.
And he's revealed his identity to his son, but no one else!
No one else. And Athena and them have plotted a way of getting rid of the suitors and getting him back to being the king of Ithaca.
However, that requires Odysseus being a beggar and infiltrating his way into
his own house.
Yes.
Because his palace is overrun by men trying to court his wife, the queen. Penelope.
So that was honestly the most...
That was the
polished.
Why can't we do that for the last 59 episodes?
They did. To us, I think they're like, why are they doing it as a haiku? Because we ran out of suggestions. It's part 9 for heaven's sake. Anyway, should we just crack on?
Let's climb up. Go.
Let's see. From the smart and smooth and let's clamp. Crack on.
So I got confused. I didn't know what language we were speaking.
We're actually doing this podcast in Swahili.
Oh yes, of course.
Jenga. Does that sound racist?
Jenga means to build in Swahili. That's where the Jenga, the game, comes from.
And we discussed that off podcast beforehand. We're not just...
Yeah.
It did sound a bit racist.
It did, yeah. Ooga booga.
For the rest of the podcast, we'll be doing it with Chinese accents. Tulebo quash. That's bad, isn't it?
I wonder what noise you were making, and then I realised you were saying Telemachus.
Because he was like, oh, that's funny. Oh, wait. Alright. So here's episode 60. Telemachus excuses himself from Eumaeus to see his mother and instructs him to lead Odysseus to the town so he can beg.
Just for a recap, who is Eumaeus?
Eumaeus is the loyal and lovely swineherd who has been keeping Odysseus at his place. This beggar, he doesn't know him as Odysseus, but yeah, he's been very kind and the most lovely person in mythology.
But he does like Odysseus, so one day he will find out eventually.
Hopefully. Yeah. At the manor, Penelope, the queen of Ithaca, tearfully embraces her son and asks what news he has learnt. Instead, Telemachus tells her to make a sacrifice to the gods to help them with their revenge. They sacrifice a man called Jeff, who was in 2 podcast episodes ago. Too niche, I'll cut it out.
You love doing a callback that is just not even worth doing, eh?
Have you seen me do an Edinburgh show? Honestly, with my Edinburgh show...
Man loves a callback.
With my Edinburgh show, genuinely, there's bits which don't get much laughter, but are really important for a callback later on. So it's like the initial kind of like, oh yeah, that's alright. At the end, it's like,
and you're like, oh, that's gonna.
Yeah, it's like, oh, they're not gonna enjoy that. And in fact, sometimes it's like when it's key, it's like, you're definitely not gonna enjoy that. He meets up with the fugitive, Clement.
Theoclymenus.
Wow, that's a role reversal. Theoclymenus, the prophet, in town, and brings him home, where they receive baths. After Telemachus tells his mother what he has learned about Odysseus on his journey, although he lies and says Odysseus is still captive on Calypso's island.
Again, so he's keeping his mum in the loop about his dad.
Well, kind of, not the full truth, because he's saying
he's alive.
Yeah, but also he's not going to come back anytime soon.
I hope she's like, I hope Odysseus hasn't been unfaithful to me and slept with anyone since his journey.
Telemachus like,
no.
He's been a prisoner against his will. In fact, he had to sleep with Circe. Here's
a hilarious callback to one of the things that happened to Odysseus on his journey. Do you remember when his men got turned into pigs, and the first thing he did was sleep with the woman who turned them into pigs?
Yeah.
And then rescued them?
Yeah, exactly.
His priorities. That was funny.
He really saved their bacon. See, that's the second worst joke I've ever told. Theoclymenus, however, divines that Odysseus is now on the island somewhere, but Penelope is not ready to believe him on the island of Ithaca. The suitors soon come in for dinner. Meanwhile, Odysseus and Eumaeus head to town. They run into the hot-headed goat herd, Melanthius, who taunts Odysseus' beggarly appearance and kicks him. Odysseus restrains himself and soldiers on, but Eumaeus curses him.
So he's just being horrible because he's a beggar.
Yeah, but let's see, this is quite interesting because there's a goat herd, and when I used to learn about the Odyssey, swine herds are good, goat herds evil. You know what I mean? And this goat herd works close with the suitors as well.
Okay.
He works. So because he's a beggar, he kicks them and stuff like that. But basically, Eumaeus is supposed to show that he's a caring person, and other people don't treat that. But yeah, it's very much a status thing as well. They arrive at the manor house of Odysseus, and outside of it is Argus, Odysseus' old dog, and when Odysseus left him, he was a puppy. Argus recognises his master, and though he is too old and too decrepit to move to greet him, he looks into his eyes, recognises his master, and dies on the spot.
His dog is 20 years old.
Yeah, it's a really old dog.
Yeah.
But it's this is quite an emotional moment for Odysseus, because he can't break character and be like, oh, you're my favourite, lovely to see you. But the dog recognises him. He waits for his master to be home.
He can now die peacefully.
Yeah, which is kind of sweet.
That is sweet, yeah.
But Odysseus gets quite tearful about this. Odysseus enters after Eumaeus to beg amongst the suitors. They go to the table, all drinking and whining, and Odysseus is trying to oh, can I have some bread, please? And they do give him bread, but Antinous soon turns against him. Telemachus defends the beggar and calls Antinous selfish. The others give Odysseus food, and he praises Antinous' appearance and starts a story about how he was once rich too. Antinous interrupts him, orders him out, and hits him on his shoulder with a stool. Now, do you remember last time Odysseus told a really long, rambling story?
Yeah.
He told to the full extent to Eumaeus, and Eumaeus was lovely. But
and accepted, and listened. These guys are like, shut up, I'm going to hit you over the head with a stool.
Yeah, so they just attack him for no reason as well.
It was a long story, to be fair.
In all fairness, we were ready to hit him. If I had to read that out again, I would have gone back in time and hit him. Even though this is a fictional piece.
She's been hit over the head by a stool during his long story.
Odysseus is unfazed by the blow, because he's a lad, and calls on the gods to kill Antinous in his character. The other suitors scold Antinous for hitting the beggar in case he is a god in disguise, but he shrugs it off. I mean, that's a very...
I forget that these guys live in a world where gods can sometimes be beggars.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's quite weird. I've never thought about that before, for members of the public to be like, ha, you're homeless, and then Zeus, it's Zeus, so I'm going to be in flames now, this is bad. Oh, there's a mountain dropped on me.
Yeah, but imagine that as a genuine, real risk as well. If you bump into someone the wrong way, and you're like, oh, that's not a god, and that's a genuine...
You'd be thinking about that forever.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I hope that wasn't Poseidon, now I'm going to drown.
Yeah.
Oh, God. But come home, all your family are dead, you're like, it was a god, I knew it.
Ironically, that I think if you hit someone with a stool, hit someone with a stool and it's a beggar, and you get punished by the gods, I think that's a bit more understandable, because there's sometimes some people who accidentally cough on a god. It's like, well, all your bloodline's cursed. Great, yeah,
that's true actually.
In her room, Penelope hears the blow and wishes. Here's the blow and wishes ill will. That's ridiculous. poppycock is that? In her room, Penelope hears all the ill wishes upon Antinous.
What are you? Did you find the first time?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Here's the blow. Oh, here's the blow.
In her room, Penelope hears the blow and wishes ill upon
I thought it's blow and wishes.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? Blow.
She hears the blow and wishes.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I thought it was like poetic.
Yeah.
In her room, Penelope hears the blow and wishes ill will upon Antinous. She asks Eumaeus to send the beggar to her room, but Odysseus says that it's too risky right now with the suitors and that he will visit her at night, which is kind of creepy because he's only been seen as a beggar. Before he returns to his hut, Eumaeus warns Telemachus to be on his guard against the suitors. So just to clarify, the leader of the suitors is Antinous, and he's the most vile one of all of them.
Who's hit him over the head?
Yeah, he is the main baddie of the suitors. There's other people, like Eurymachus, I think, is there? So there's a hierarchy.
So they're all like, oh mate, we're the suitors, mate. You're just a beggar.
Yeah.
Why are you even here? You're late to the party. Like, yeah.
It's very much like they're all quite upper class. We're the ones that are about to be king of this place. They've invaded this home. You know what I mean? Anyway, what's next?
An actual beggar, Eros, enters the palace and violently orders Odysseus to leave.
Hey, boy, you wanna get out my fucking spot? You steal my bread from my mouth, boy. You be Odysseus. I'm trying to be Eros.
Sorry, do that again. I'll be Odysseus.
Hey, boy, you come to my palace. It's my fucking. I'm a fucking beggar here. I'm fucking stepping on my toes. Get your hands off me, bro. Get your hands off me.
Fuck you! Odysseus tries to calm him down, but that's how it would go, right?
Well, imagine he has to keep a low profile as well. So, just shouting that.
Yeah. He's like, I'm Odysseus, I mean... no, I'm not.
I mean, shut up.
What name has he given? Has he told people his name? He hasn't really given a fake name, has he?
No, we should create a fake name for him right now. You know, the only thing that pops in my mind... Odysseus.
Odysseus tries to calm him down, but Eros challenges him to a fight. This beggar's like, oh, I'm the only beggar around here, mate.
Yeah, I'm the only beggar around here.
Antinous overhears the squabble and gathers the suitors to watch, promising a goat's stomach and unlimited access to meals at the palace from now on to the victor.
Hold on, so it's like,
what?
Okay, can you two fight? Well, what's the reason? Well, you get unlimited meals. No, that's not enough for me. And a goat's stomach. Deal!
Yeah. After ensuring that none of the suitors will strike him when he is not looking, Odysseus' strong body, with aid from Athena, intimidates Eros. Odysseus makes short work of him and takes him outside. The suitors congratulate Odysseus and reward him with food. Odysseus warns them that the lord of the house will return soon and win his revenge through blood. The suitor, Amphimonius, knowing he will die, tries to leave, but Athena makes sure he stays. Ooh. He's like, shit.
But what's quite funny there is that...
So he's gone from everyone hating him to everyone liking him because he's beating up himself a beggar?
Well, kind of, but it's kind of a bit cruel, if you know what I mean. It's like these guys are like, oh, well done, mate, yeah. Like, it's quite gratuitous. But also, also, he's trying to keep a low profile and not be seen as Odysseus. And he's like, oh, well, the lord of the house returns soon, he will come back for revenge for blood. It's like, he definitely... on the nose a bit, Odysseus, you know what I mean?
Athena influences Penelope to make an appearance in front of the suitors, because she's been hiding recently, right?
Yeah.
First beautifying her through her powers. Penelope comes downstairs and privately rebukes Telemachus for allowing such abuse of the stranger, who is actually her husband. He tells her that he had no option with the suitors and informs her of the beggar's one-sided fight with Eros. She laments Odysseus' absence and recalls his directions when he had departed for Troy to remarry once Telemachus has grown up, but she finds the suitors despicable. Odysseus happily hears this, as does Antonius, who insists that they will not leave until she marries one of them. The suitors bring her gifts and she returns upstairs with them. Okay,
so there's a lot going on there. So essentially, what we quite like earlier with Odysseus, Athena makes him look intimidating, and Eros is unintimidated. Then he goes, so he's pretty much the fight's null and void. But it's like, no, I'm still gonna beat the fuck out of him anyway. It's like, why make him look stronger then? But yeah, so essentially, Odysseus kind of overhears Penelope, kind of miss him, and she still loves him, if you know what I mean. But they have to kind of, he knows that it's all worth it, if you know what I mean. He's kind of working towards that goal. It's not like she doesn't know who he is anymore. But still, the suit is quite creepy. Anyway, what happens next?
The suitors revel the rest of the night, and Odysseus tells the housemaids to attend to Penelope. The suitors revel the rest of the night, and Odysseus tells the housemaids to attend to Penelope. He will look after the suitors. One of them, Melantho, who was raised by Penelope, does little to return her affection, insults Odysseus. He threatens retribution from Telemachus for her remarks, and she and the others leave. Eurymachus, I recognise that name. Eurymachus hurls a number of jokes at Odysseus' expense. Odysseus again foretells the lord of the manor's vengeful return. Eurymachus throws his stool, but Odysseus ducks. The suitors believe they are wasting their efforts on this beggar, and Telemachus gently encourages them to retire for the evening. This irritates them, but Amphiminos, that guy, directs them back to have one more drink before bed.
So after he's back in his home and he's seen what it's like, and an inconceivable amount of stools are in front of him, we learned a lot about Odysseus and his trip home. But it's not the end of the journey, and you'll have to wait till next week to find out more. But Dan, let's go and rank this right now.
Back in the game.
Whoa, that was nice. Dan, you know what I'm going to ask you?
What?
It's the thing I always ask you after.
You ask me how we rank it and how it works?
No, I was actually going to say how much you enjoy it, but then I was going to do a joke about.
Ask me how much you enjoyed it.
Did you enjoy it this episode, Dan?
So we ranked the four. No, do you know what? That was a bit of a meh, wasn't it?
Well, yeah.
As a standalone myth.
Bear in mind, we had a lot of flying practice a couple of episodes ago, with the adventure books. This is building up to bear in mind,
the finale.
Yeah, it's very much those building blocks. If you know what I mean. But we're kind of getting there bit by bit, and loose ends are starting to be tied up together, and the plots are coming nicely together.
That whole thing really painted an image in my head, though. I was actually really imagining the manor house and what's going on there.
Yeah, and it's quite vivid, isn't it? Mm. But also, we also see some of the characters there. There's a lot. What's really nice about this story is that there's so many interesting characters, and not everyone's good, not everyone's bad. If you know what I mean, there's still redeeming qualities for people. Antinous is probably one of the worst people out there, but even so, he can be reasoned with. If you know what I mean. Yes. And he's still kind to Penelope, but not kind to Penelope. He's actually harassing, but he's trying to be kind.
Yes.
You know what I mean. Which is no excuse, but anyway, but yeah, I feel, but one of the themes is, as we've talked about many times before, is Xenia, and basically the nicest people in this story are the people who are the most hospitable.
Yeah.
Like in Eumaeus, Penelope saying, why did you abuse that person as well? And so it's interesting to see who doesn't abide by that, who does.
Yeah.
Anyway, we rank it on 4 sections. One of them is WTF, the other is creativity, the other is morals, and life skills, practical things that we learn. So let's do life skills. What things did we learn?
We learnt... I guess we learnt more than I thought. Well, as always, with a lot of these, we've learned how to be in disguise.
We learnt how to fight.
That's what I was going to say. We've mainly learned how to fight.
Yeah.
How to get out of fighting.
Yep.
How to break up fights.
How to beg.
How to beg.
How to
intimidate.
Yeah. We also learned how to throw a bar stool.
How to throw a bar stool.
How to avoid bar stool.
Yeah. How to take a hit from a bar stool.
Yeah. How to give insults.
How to give insults.
How
to eat a goat stomach.
Oh yeah. How to bargain.
How to bargain. Yeah.
How to be hospitable, I guess. How to lament over the person you lost after many years ago. And how to win people's affection through fighting someone.
Yeah.
From fighting up a homeless person.
Yeah.
That's going to be a strong moral. I don't think that much, but a little bit of fighting, a little bit of bits and bobs.
Yeah. What are you thinking?
I'm going to say
3, 2, 1,
3.
Yeah, I was going to go 3. Yeah, I was going to do 3. Yeah. I actually did. I did a hand signal, but I don't think so.
3. Because I thought you were going to go 4.
Nah, let's go 3.
Morals. We already discussed a bit. The fact that you don't beat up homeless people.
Don't beat up homeless people
unless it aids your cause.
Yeah. So it is quite a good moral. They're very good at not giving up his disguise whilst all this is going on. There's lots of moments they could have just given up and gone, oi.
Even we just killed them all by now, but the reason they don't do that is because they were definitely murdered. There's only like a couple of them in cahoots, if you know what I mean. Eumaeus is always lovely in this again. Nice. He's always he goes again. He's essentially being the porter, passing the information along now. Like,
he's just a nice guy.
A swineherd, just like basically doing a messenger boy
for the king.
We learned to basically just be kind to people and don't.
Can I just predict something I think is going to happen?
Uh-huh.
I think once Odysseus reveals himself as Odysseus, he's going to give Eumaeus. I think he's going to give him like wealth and like bring him up in society.
Well, but then again, that's a really interesting thing.
Because that happens in quite a lot of myths when they're like, because of his kindness, he was bestowed with jewels. And...
I think that's it. It's more to do with kindness, less to like not bringing up in society. Because I think the point is, it doesn't matter where you are in society. It's as long as you're a good person. Yeah. That's the whole point. I think not necessarily.
But I didn't bring him up in society. I meant in terms of wealth.
As in like he's compensated. Yeah. I guess not loads, is it?
No.
I'm gonna say 2.
I can't fight that.
Wait, are we happy with 2?
Yeah, I think 2. I can't fight on that.
Next up is
creativity.
So
relatively creative. There's some fights.
So
various characters, all with different personalities.
Yeah, that's it. I think it's the wealth of the characters in the story here. It's not. They all don't play a vital role, but they're part of the scene. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're a part of that.
Eros, the other beggar, how he doesn't like it. Then you got Anamonas, whatever his name is, Antinuous. He's an arsehole.
Yeah, and the fact that he has to fight a beggar to keep his cover and identity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He does a kind of like a very immoral thing for a moral reason. If you know what I mean. I guess learning how to like the fact that he eavesdrops on Penelope and how she still loves him and stuff like that.
Yes,
and also learning who to. He's planning who to take out as well. Like so, Antinuous, you get an intel. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And he's subtly telling them that if they keep doing this, they're going to pay for it. And that's because he knows that it will work out and he'll kill them all.
Narratively, they're threading that line of moral because there's that one guy who's like, I'm kind of out, but they're also
that was good though. They had someone be like, I have a feeling that prophecies tend to come true in this universe, so I'm going to leave.
Well, that's very valid. Prophecies do come true, man. Other than that, also Athena always likes to change people's appearance in this quite a lot, right?
Does, yeah.
Like she makes people look more beautiful and more ugly and
bigger and more intimidating. Yeah,
she makes me look very manly.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm pretty manly, aren't I?
You're quite manly, yeah.
Yeah, I once pressed some bench lifts. Manly, gym.
Manly, good wording.
CrossFit. I'm going to say a 5.
I would say it's pretty down the middle. Textbook 5.
Textbook 5, yeah, mate. And finally, what's the final category?
WTF, things that we were just like, that's weird.
Yeah, what's being a beggar? That's kind of weird.
Being a beggar.
Also, but
beggars fine. Them cheering on 2 beggars fine.
And for a goat stomach.
That's quite heavy.
But the thing that annoyed me was like that's not the clincher. It's like you get unlimited meals. And it's like you don't even have to eat the goat stomach, but we'll give it to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, WTF, Melanthius, the goat herd.
Yeah.
Him treating like that.
Then like kicking a beggar.
Yeah. Also, we should add that to morals as well, because maybe
that's true.
Treating someone because they're a beggar, treating them like bad. You know, I think that's quite a strong moral. Should we revise it to 3?
Should we make it a 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to promote morals.
I think it's the first time we've done that actually.
It is.
Melanthius, yeah, because
that is pretty messed up there.
The dog dying.
The dog dying, that's messed up.
That's sad. It's really sad.
That's messed up.
And he wait till his master was home.
Yeah, that's pretty WTF.
That's sad.
Okay, I think I'm ready.
Should we say 3, 2, 1,
5?
Let's go.
Wow.
5. I don't think it's that weird though.
That's true. I think it's quite run down the middle. Should we just 4?
Yeah, well, let's talk about it because I don't think it's that crazy. 4's quite high in this instance. It's not that. Bear in mind, 10 out of 10s we've had where people will be their skin's been eviscerated from their body.
Yeah, and they've eaten a human being. And their dog's been turned to gold and stuff like that. Yeah,
sure. So I think in terms of fantasy, there's not too crazy here. It's not too gory.
No, that's true.
And the only crazy thing is not too crazy. Just people treating each other a bit like shit. So I think
that's true.
maybe
Yeah.
3 or 4.
Oh man. Yeah. That's true.
Do you know what I mean?
No, I'll give you that. I was just.
We're trying to be kind to it.
Trying to be kind to
Because
it, yeah.
I enjoyed this myth, but it's a building block myth. So there's not a lot happening here.
Okay.
So I think 3, honestly. Okay, so add that up. 3 for life skills, 3 for morals, 5 for creativity, and 3 for WTF. That equals
14.
14 indeed. 14 whoppers. Daniel, did you enjoy that?
I did actually, yeah. I mean, it wasn't the most exciting myth, but I feel like we're getting somewhere narrative-wise. I feel like something's about to come crashing down in the house.
Only 16 more episodes.
Yeah.
Like George R. R. Martin.
I hope this doesn't go on for too long, this whole suitors. I just want the plan to actually come into fruition.
Yeah, well, bear in mind the first half of the thing is about like kind of how this is after Troy, this is post, this is after that as well. So it's kind of instead of lots of small stories, it's one big story.
Yeah.
But yeah, so have you enjoyed episode 60, Dan?
I have. Thank you for allowing me to again overtake Laura Lex as the.
Well, Dan, is there anything special about episode 60 in your mind?
No.
Nothing at all?
No.
Well, Daniel, you may remember... Do you remember in the old times of episode 18 where we had a prophecy for episode 30?
We did, yes.
And we predicted the stuff that we would do for ourselves. However, in episode 30, we said for episode 60, we'll get some fan people to email in for some fan-made prophecies. And we have a couple. Would you like to...
I can't remember this, actually. Yeah, okay.
So I've kept the secret from you, and you've had no idea, have you?
They emailed us in?
Yeah, they've emailed in.
Did we read the emails?
Well, sorry, because I did.
Yeah.
But, so there are emails as well. So, shall I read out the prophecies which we... And we have to see if we've done them, okay? See if they're correct. And there's a broad church of them. Some of them are quite easy. Obviously, something's going to happen. And then there's
I completely forgot about this, yeah.
It's quite cool, isn't it? So I'll tell the prophecies, but then also we have another special email came in from Pip, and Pip actually did something beyond this as well. So
what were some of the prophecies that fans reckon would happen?
I'll read them out in order, okay? Number 1, Matt will call the listeners viewers, which did not happen.
Did not happen.
Did not
That's happened in a while, actually.
Yeah.
We've been quite good at that.
And I made a purpose not to shoehorn anything in today because I recorded the intro to this earlier. So it's so number 2, Dan will mention Weetabix. Did you?
I don't think I did, but we did last week, which is a shame because it normally comes up. But I was actually going to mention it earlier, but I didn't.
Oh, and Jason.
I was going to make a joke about goat stomach going with my Weetabix. I didn't. I should have now. I know the product. Yeah.
Well, if you some people have banana, you can have goat stomach. Yeah. Another related one, because this is a mixture of lots of different people. Another one related to that is Matt will do the Weetabix challenge in episode 60, which I did not do and will not do until episode 100. So 0 out of 3 so far.
Wow. You know what's sad about this is there's a lot of things in other episodes come up a lot.
Yeah.
It's just this one we didn't, which is really bizarre.
Number 4, this is a suggestion from my brother. You will both make love on air.
That happened before.
Yeah. Off podcast.
Off podcast.
It would be rude to do it on air.
Oh, that's a shame.
In all fairness, we can't. I guess we. Oh, that's a half mark because we're always making love, not like making love, like. But we're definitely like. There's always love being shared.
Yeah, that's true.
I realise your mum will be listening to this. Number 5, Dan will attempt to justify racist behaviour with logic. Jenga.
That kind of did happen. Whether that, that did happen, but whether that makes it into the cut you're listening to, folks, I don't know.
I'll cut the worst bit out.
Yeah, but that did kind of happen. But I think
so there's one main one,
yeah. But I don't know if that will be in this edit because we'll probably have had to cut that out by the time you listen to this.
If you subscribe to our Patreon, you can listen to the unedited version. Please don't sue us.
Who said that as a prediction? Was that you?
That was actually my brother.
That Dan will justify race.
Number 6, Matt will talk about the success of his love life. Matt will talk about his love life. I didn't do that. It's been quite dry. To be honest, this has been a dry episode, if anything. Usually we're quite location.
This is actually really pissing me off because all of these come up every single episode.
Every episode.
What happened today? Is it because deep down the universe knew about these?
Yeah. Because
every other episode these come up a lot.
Yeah.
And this hasn't. What? This is actually really bizarre. I'm actually feeling a bit weird.
So this is the one which the only one that came in several times, and it says a lot about me.
Why did more than one person mention this?
Several people mention this. 3 people mention this. Matt will either question his sexuality or mention his own homosexuality.
It does come up a lot, guys. Oh God, that's probably one of my predictions.
Well, you know, if we're going to make love,
how has that and Weetabix not come up?
Well, again, I did kind of refer to it by making love on air, kind of thing. This is quite out there, but episode 60 will be a podcast. It'll be a commentary on a hit film like Clash of the Titans, which it isn't. But you know, that's an idea we can do.
That's an idea, yeah, a good idea actually.
And finally, number 9 is that episode 60 would be a live podcast, which it isn't. So really, only one.
Well, it is to us.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like as in live at like in a theatre, kind of, in front of an audience, which obviously this isn't. This is going out to no one. So really, what?
For the first time ever in my life, I'm annoyed that I wasn't more racist.
No, you got the racist one. You ticked that off. So.
Good prediction, guys. Oh, do you know what I love about those predictions? As much as I'm annoyed that a lot of them didn't happen in this podcast, despite the fact they happen in other podcasts, I think it shows that our listeners are really... I like that we have common themes.
Yeah. We are predictable.
We are predictable in the sense that we make enough mistakes and we just can't help bring out certain conversations every time. Namely, Weetabix and or whether Matt's gay or not.
And also my love life as well. But yeah, we... as I mentioned, one of the emails was Pip, and he sent some suggestions in. But what he did is he did some extra prophecies, but like for in the future.
Oh wow, okay.
And he consulted his own prophecy, his own prophet, which is
his own Tantalus.
His own Tantalus wasn't Tiresias.
Tiresias.
You know, but we also what he did is he got a magic 8-ball. Asked these questions. Asked it, and he got the call and responses.
Okay, nice.
I'm going to read them out to you now. Okay.
Okay.
Don't look. Okay. So the first one is Miffs will reach episode 100, and the answer was very likely.
Very likely.
Can you guess what the 8-baller said, like roughly? Because it's basically you have to say word for word, but like whether it's likely, unlikely, not going to happen, it's definitely going to happen.
Okay.
So
whether the 8-ball thinks these things will happen. Okay.
So Miffs will reach episode 100, very likely.
Well, yeah.
Number 2, Miffs will start covering myths and legends from other nations and historic periods, Vikings, etc., etc.
Well, I know this because we had a discussion about it off air earlier.
A production
that
meeting,
will definitely happen.
The 8-ball says no. The star says no.
Sorry, guys.
It's going to be Greek, Roman myths forever.
Yeah.
Number 3, Miffs will start selling merch, including t-shirts, badges, fridge magnets, and a plushie Dan.
So, 2 things come to mind. Should we do that? Definitely. Will Dan be asked to do that? No.
So I'll be doing all the hard work.
Yeah.
The 8-ball says absolutely.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Will Matt do all the hard work? Yes. Number 4, Dan will once again do a Weetabix challenge and get a retweet on Twitter from the Weetabix social media account.
Unlikely.
You're correct. Chances are not good. Because I have tried to tweet. I tweeted at them and they did not respond. I think the press department did not want that. Number 5, a Dan and Matt fanfic will one day exist on the internet. As in, like, is that like a sexy fanfic?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, you know, we're going to make love on
Erotica.
it. Yeah. It doesn't have to be fanfic. We'll just do it ourselves. What do you reckon it says?
That is probably an absolutely...
Very likely.
Very likely.
Very likely. And final one. Matt will one day replace Dan as co-host with Laura Lex full-time.
Well, unlikely.
It says don't bet on it, but you should bet on it. Well, Dan, did you? What was that, a nice surprise for you?
That was a nice surprise. I enjoyed that. I'm just annoyed that actually this turned out to be clearly a boring myth, or a myth that is very difficult But very different from other myths.
Do you remember the prophecies last time where like you would get Greek words wrong, and you did get it
I
into
did
that?
get-
Yeah.
that's a given every time.
Yeah, and you know,
Although normally those are a given. Weetabix, racism, and Matt talking about his love life.
Oh, I got so many love life stories as well. It's too many to talk about. Like, we should mention that in next week's podcast. Maybe we should use that as a going forward to like really hone down on what we do best.
Yes.
Bad maths, awkward sex chat. There we go. So Dan, where can people find us online?
Facebook and or Twitter.
And they can tweet us about any old thing they want.
They can at Miss Podcast.
And we also have updates on there as well. They can also find us on the Miffs fan page called the Misfits.
Misfits.
Just search for Miffs Podcast and join the group where we can chat and there's updates and news and stuff like that. And you get to see pictures of me and Dan. Beyond that, you can also find us in our email account at misspodcast@gmail.com. Stuff like this happens all the time, so if you want to get involved with any of the podcasts, you can do that. And how many stars on iTunes? I will
5.
Actually 6 today.
6 today, yeah.
Just for one day only. Probably when this goes out, you're not allowed to do it anymore. But and also if you want to give any money to us, either a one-off donation or a consistent donation, go to our Ko-fi or Patreon accounts.
Because we do this for free, but it does cost us to...
Yeah. Oh, a lot of money.
Yeah.
In fact, so, usually a lot of podcasters are raking in mad dollar, but we're humble.
Yeah.
We're only making mad dollar.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we do this for free, so no pressure if you don't want to put my money in, but it'd be great if you can help contribute. Alright, Dan, shall we set some prophecies for episode 120?
I prophesise that by 120...
This podcast will know.
I prophesise, spoiler alert, that by episode 120... we won't be doing Greek myths anymore.
We won't be friends anymore.
Yeah. It will be a different civilization and or religion.
Yeah, I thought you meant genuinely our society would be a different civilization. Okay, yeah. Any other bits you want to throw in there? One of us will be married.
Wow. I think Matt will be in a relationship by episode 120.
He's going to be in a relationship by episode 61. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. I've been Matt Hoss.
I'll be Dan Rhodes.
And this has been
Miffs.
Bye.